Podcast, WATP.
What a week for Chad Zumock. He had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, all within a 12-hour period. He really was on top of the world, and everything was working out for him. And he was showing all the haters who's boss. Mm-hmm. And he can go from villain to victim faster than anyone I've ever seen. It's almost remarkable the way he's able to do that. So he comes on his show on Thursday. It's a little after 2 o'clock. And I'd received an email from him at 11:40. So now fast forward a couple hours after that, he comes on his show. And this is how it starts off.
Show's canceled, by the way. I just found this out. That's why I was so late. Whatever. The last 12 hours have been retarded. Everything that's happened has been completely unnecessary and ridiculous to do a live podcast. It's not like we were putting on a Kiss concert with pyrotechnics. It was just a fucking podcast that we do every day in front of people. Done.
Which is why it's so funny you couldn't pull it off. So the live show that was supposed to happen at the Beer Hall in Atlantic City tonight was the date. They sold tickets. It was sold out. It was all ready to go. And Blade from Win by 2 was going to show us how to put on a real live show because he said specifically, I don't know how to do it. And he was going to show us how. And we were all looking forward to that. And I know people who had tickets to this event. We were going to enjoy maybe sniping it while it was happening on their channels. And it was canceled. Damn. And you got to wonder, why was this canceled? Whose fault is this?
I have an idea.
Got the venue. Thank you to Ken for hooking that up for free. And then from there, Melton, Carl, everybody, their fans.
I'm here, Blind Mike.
Just bombarding them with emails. I've got the screenshots, the emails. They're Melton fans. They're Carl fans. They are. I can send them your way. That's fine.
So, unfortunately...
Hello, Cardiff.
Yeah, hey, Cardiff. Welcome to the show. I was going to introduce you after the clip played. But
I didn't want him to say something, mean something about me that he would regret if he didn't
Are
know
you that insecure?
I appreciate that. I was about to go into one of my Cardiff rants.
Thank you, OJ.
All right, so he comes on and he says, the event is canceled, and whose fault is it? He mentions my name, he mentions Patrick Melton's name, and he says there are all these emails sent, implying that I was sending emails or making phone calls. But he also says fans. What's that?
Did you?
I definitely did not.
All right, just getting that on record.
The last thing I would want to do is have the show get canceled. We all wanted it to happen. We were all looking forward to seeing how it was going to go off.
We played, I don't know if you caught Cardiff Electric Presents Bedabbling Live on my Rumble channel today, but we played the Chad Zumock Wheel of Blame game.
Yes.
Where you could just spin the wheel and choose who you're blaming next.
Yeah, it started with me and Patrick, and I got an email from Chad that I'll read to you. Actually, he reads this email, so I'll fill in the back and forth we've done since then in a little bit. And then the next day it was Ray DeVito somehow. We put out another video that was Ray DeVito's fault that the show was canceled.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. But Chad's in full victim mode. This poor guy.
So let's just put it in perspective. I've gotten my Patreon canceled. That's $3,000 a month. That's gone.
That's a lie. He was never making $3,000 a month on Patreon.
Not anymore.
My eyes went like this.
Yeah, that's just a flat out lie, but okay.
Not that it's a big deal. My Wikipedia zapped.
So someone messaged me and said, Chad's Wikipedia was taken down December of 2022. And so now Chad's adding that on. I don't know, like he hasn't searched for it in a while or something. Look at Lucy's face. It's just like, that's so pathetic.
Also,
So
I've
sad
never done
for
that to
him.
be a stream of revenue.
Right, yeah. Who gives a shit?
What else happened to this poor guy?
All right, let's find out.
After 15 years. 2 gigs canceled. My gig in Cape Coral. I got the police called on me. And this event we've been building 2 days away, I'm flying into on my own dime, got canceled. So I woke up to that. I'm like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is.
He's such a victim. I imagine that he didn't do anything wrong in any of these instances, like getting the police called on him and getting his Patreon taken down. He probably wasn't like breaking the terms of service with Patreon, and that's probably why the Patreon took him down. And
It's terms and service, but yeah.
yeah. So this is everyone's fault but his.
I get a phone call from Kevin Brennan around 11, and Kevin hasn't called me in 3 years. So I'm picking up, right? Kevin says, the event's not canceled. I talked to the owner.
Yeah, because when we last left this whole debacle, it was Kevin and Chad finally having the meeting they should have had a month ago live on their show. And Kevin was very upset with the answers he was getting from Chad about the logistics and why do people have a ticket? What does it get them? Will they have a seat? Will they have a table? If they bought a ticket ahead of time, Chad knew none of these things. And Kevin left it with, I got to talk to the owner. I got to get these answers. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Also, Kevin, very concerned about security. He knows there's a lot of people who want to kick his ass. And so he always needs to have security around whenever he's out in public.
That's
Well,
just
this is
how it
another big
is.
question.
That's how it is with live events, though. Like I think Roger Goodell is sending similar emails this week. Like, are we still doing this, or what's going on Sunday?
Yeah. And who's going to be working the door at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? We got someone for that?
Ken Moscow.
Ken Moscow's going to come down? All right, good.
Well, you can see this is the one thing I got to give Chad credit for being smart about, is never having a meeting with Kevin, because the event would have been canceled a month ago if he had had meetings with Kevin earlier. He was hoping he could make it to the day of.
Yeah.
I disagree, Cardiff. I think the only reason why he never had a meeting with Kevin is because Kevin blocked him in his phone. He hasn't been able to communicate directly with Kevin outside of being on a show with him for years. He just
There were conference calls. There were conference calls.
I go, great. I go, what do you want me to say? I'm going to go on air. And he goes, just say it's 100% not canceled. So I'm like, okay. He's like, I talk about the owner, about the bartenders in place, the servers. Ken Mosca was going to be at the door guy. He hired 2 people out of pocket to help security for people to come in and out. He just wants.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick this to shreds.
Yeah, because none of this makes any sense. Please.
He couldn't answer questions about chairs or seats or anything, but he's talking to the owner about bartenders and servers.
Yeah.
Like he's got
And
those
door
details
guys.
lined up. Door guys.
You're
Like he's
right.
got, those are the minute details of running the business that he's involved in. But the show part, no idea. And let's not forget, he said he canceled his flight today. Remember, as soon as he said, I canceled my flight, and then he backtracked. I didn't cancel my flight. I almost did.
Yeah.
His plan was to arrive in Atlantic City at around 3:30 the day of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
When things need to get done the day of the show.
He's the talent.
Blade was going to get everything set up. And the way he describes this, too, is just like, guys, this is the easiest thing to do is a live podcast. I don't think Chad understands what goes into any of this, obviously, which is why Kevin had so many questions for him and why Kevin was pretty irritated with Chad's responses. But you heard him say, Kevin called him and said, it's back on. I talked to the owner and they got everything worked out and we're going to do the show. And he said that phone call was 11 a.m., right? Because the email I got from Chad was that same day at 11:40 a.m. saying, congrats. I woke up today to the owner wanting to pull the plug on our show because of all the online harassment from you and Melton's fans. He sent me all the screenshots, all connected to NLO and WATP. So that the timeline doesn't work out, but also this story continues to not make any sense.
Now, he just wanted to understand what was going on. And I get it. It makes a lot of sense because it was just, I'm talking to this guy, he's talking to this guy. It was just the communication was all fucked up. So I'm like, oh, great, show's on. Here we go. After I said it was canceled.
And I should mention that when this thumbnail was made for this episode, it said show is on. And that was like, he was going to come out and announce like, guys, we got it worked out. We're doing the show. So I was tuned into this, wanting to see what the big announcement was. He comes out and he goes, it's canceled. So, I mean, it was really dodgy on this one day.
So I'm about to go on. My Roadcaster takes a shit. Can't get it going.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to find out. This is actually the worst news for him possible. Not the Patreon going down, not the gig getting canceled, the Roadcaster. Because as we pointed out, he relies on that Roadcaster. That is 2/3 of his show.
Bells and whistles.
Is the Roadcaster, and it shit the bed somehow.
But sorry, Carl, I'm sure you don't have the clip, but it was a very brief moment when he went on MLC, I think the same day, where he tried to blame everyone for his Roadcaster break.
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
Yep, I got that too. Oh, yeah, we're going to break down everything. Him on MLC, him from the airport this morning that he took down immediately, Blade's response to all of this and how pissed off he is. We got everything here.
I'll shut up.
No, you're fine.
Then I get a text message from Ken Mosca saying it's canceled. I call Ken. He goes, yeah, I just talked to the owner. They're pulling the plug. It's just too much. So thank you to everybody that reached out to the Tennessee Beer Hall to cancel it. Calling Kevin and I white supremacist. NLO rules. Don't fuck with Patrick.
This sounds a lot like Carl, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so people were calling the club and saying, by the way, Kevin and Chad, who's headlining that show you guys are doing, they're white supremacists. White supremacists, I think is what he meant. And NLO rules. I'm like, well, that's it. We got to shut this down.
No. Only a white supremacist would know how to pronounce white supremacist.
You got me there. You got me there. NLO rules.
I swear to God.
Screw me a country.
That doesn't get shows canceled. None of what he's describing right now gets shows canceled. He's trying to say that they were bombarded with emails and phone calls, and the owner's just like, I can't take it anymore.
NLO doesn't rule. That's it.
Yeah.
The reason the show was canceled is because he was not bombarded with a single phone call from Chad for the show.
Correct. He has
Or thirsty ticket buyers, it sounds like.
There's no organization at all. We saw that Blade was trying weeks ago to get a meeting and get over to the venue and check it out, and was met with crickets. Like there was no response on anything. Chad got lanyards done and went, all right, my job here is done. We got this.
He was so proud of those.
Well, he also did set up the Eventbrite thing too.
Nice.
So he sold the 60 tickets with his link.
So that he could get the money.
Right. He was in control of the money. Yes.
Yeah. It's done. So you did it. Congratulations. It wasn't Kevin's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was you. You guys did this. You guys did it. You're the reason why it's canceled. So all the Brad Thackers and all you trolls that contact businesses, you did it. Congrats. I was barely making any money from this. We were barely making anything. We were just trying to throw something together and cover our costs. That was it. And have content for months.
Sounds like making money.
No, it's a charity. This is a charity event that he was doing to give back for once. And these dumb idiots screwed it all up. Do you see how Chad becomes the victim so easily on this? It wasn't my fault at all. I had nothing to do with this failing. And it's all you guys. And it was going to be this event that was going to benefit everyone, the whole community. We were going to give food to starving children.
The kids.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking
It's
about?
a masterful transition.
It's impressive.
Yeah, he's comfortable with this.
Thanks to Doom, by the way, for pulling this clip. And
Thank
the
you,
next
Doom.
clip we're going to watch too. Thank you, Doom.
Thank you.
This, it wasn't just NLO fans and WATP fans. There was another person who fucked with this show.
Those were in the emails too. Stuttering John was coming to fight. So there's a lot going into this. There's a lot of emails being sent to this guy. And it's just, they pulled the plug. They don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, we don't need it.
Okay, so also Stuttering John claimed he was going to go down there and fight Kevin and Chad, and the club's just like, why? I can't have that kind of rowdiness here with Stuttering John beating everyone up. We're not prepared for that. None of this makes any sense, Chad. The rest of us live on this planet and are adults, and no one thinks that this is what happened.
Yeah, I am curious because John and Chad use this. What is the volume of calls that like a club gets when, I don't know, fucking Tony Hinchcliffe is coming? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yes.
an actual controversial figure. They must be used to it, I would think, right?
Or Crystalia, another great example.
Right.
Crystalia is still selling out theaters all over the place. There's a very damning documentary about this guy.
Yeah, Crystalia, there's some real charges. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there are reasons to call and say, are you sure about booking this guy?
Yes. All right. So this is when Chad explains that he emailed me. I was surprised he brought this up, actually. I don't know why he decided to do this, because honestly, and I don't know if I've said this yet, I had literally nothing to do with any of this. I've never, pull a tape where I said, guys, you should call the venue. I never even brought up what the venue's name is. I don't know what it is.
Tennessee Beer
Harvey's
Hall.
shown me
beer
that
hall.
tape, and he'll be releasing it this afternoon.
Okay, yes. Show a time when I ever brought up getting a show canceled. I said it was going to fail. I knew it was going to fail. I was right about that, but
Because of all the calls you were going to make. We get it.
It's done. And I even emailed Carl. I told Carl, congratulations, because all the emails were
Stupid
NLO
emails.
and WAT people. And that's what it is. I'll forward them all over to you. I wrote back. I wrote to
You heard that, right? He said it was because of the emails. He'll forward them all over to me. Okay.
And that's what it is. I'll forward them all over to you.
Okay.
I wrote back. I wrote to Carl. I go, hey, I woke up today to the owner wanting to pull the plug on our show because of all the online harassment from you and Melton fans. He sent me all the screenshots, all connected to you guys. I'm not fighting his decision because we were making very little money to do something fun, a live podcast in front of people. I was told I could sell 60 tickets.
Is he
and that's
sending this
what I
to
did.
you?
It was pretty simple.
I don't know.
Good luck with your event. I won't be talking shit about it from here on out. And I won't. He wrote back, trying to blame this failure on Patrick and me is laughable. They're your fans. You guys were encouraging it.
No, we were not.
You guys weren't telling them to stop, were you?
Oh.
Did you go online and say, don't contact the venue?
You know what? That is true. I never went online and said, don't contact the venue because I had no idea anyone was contacting the venue. How would I? It's fucking retarded.
I don't think you were. I think Patrick was sniping.
He's
He was
right.
loving it. You were online.
What does that have to do with anything? Patrick was sniping a show.
You doing
and
online?
I was online.
He's not wrong about anything
Screenshots
so
of
far.
the
You are online.
That's true. I was online all week this week. That's true. So he's got me there.
screenshots of the venue, Flimsy Greenberg going down there. I know all of it.
I know all of it. I don't know who Flimsy Greenberg is. I have no idea, but okay.
Of course, you would say that.
I just covered my ass again.
I knew this was doomed from the start. Did you, Carl? Because it was going to happen.
That's the funniest thing. I'm like, yeah, I told you it was going to fail. He goes, oh, yeah, well, it almost didn't. It's got you
We were
there.
one day away from it not failing.
What an idiot.
It was fine. Carl, as soon as Kevin talked to the owner, he confirmed everything. I knew it was doomed from the start for many reasons.
Now, there's the Carl impression.
But it did culminate into one of the best episodes you've ever done with you and KB, and finally had a meeting.
Culminate.
Cumulate.
Culminate is the word that
Cumulate is what
the word that I used. He saw that one. Uh-oh.
Cumulate.
Yeah.
Baby.
Promo code, yeah.
From the start for many reasons. But it did culminate into one of the best episodes you've ever done with you and KB, and finally had a meeting that should have happened weeks ago off air. Yeah, that's content, Carl. We're trying to have fun with it online, a build-up. So Carl's the know-it-all. He knows how everything should go.
Yes.
I kind of
was
think you
hoping the
know a
show
little bit
wouldn't-
more about this.
I was hoping the show would have happened. I have a number of friends and family who bought tickets. Tell Jim I said hi and fuck the Chiefs. All right, well, that was a nice ending. But you guys didn't stop it either. They were your fans. You guys were encouraging this behavior of them contacting.
I love that. He's like, all right, well, I guess he was saying some nice things at the end there. But the point is, what an asshole, right?
It all cumulated in something nice.
All
And the
right.
idea of Carl taking his mask off and going, but hey, man, fuck the Chiefs. It's a nice moment.
Well, it's only because I did a show with Jim Florentine. He was on a Creep Off bonus show that we did. And we were talking about how even though he is a Miami fan, as everyone knows, he was rooting for the Bills to beat the Chiefs because fuck the Chiefs. So I was just telling, Chad is going to go to Jim's Super Bowl party to pass along that note. Anyway, so I email him today, 12:30, before the show. I said, hey, Chad, can you forward the emails from WATP and NLO fans that got the show canceled? He said he would forward them to me twice so far. I've heard many other instances of where he said that too.
Let's read them.
He goes, he responds right back. He says, why? So you can predictably say they're fake? So I wrote back and I said, no, because you said repeatedly that you were going to forward the emails to me. I'd like to see what these assholes were saying. And he responds, obviously you're up to something, so I'll just give you the owner's email and you can ask him directly so there's no questions whatsoever. His name is Sal and he gives me his email address. Isn't the whole thing that he doesn't want people emailing the owner of this place?
He was telling people if they didn't believe him to call the venue themselves to ask on his show yesterday. Call the venue.
What's
if you
happening?
Don't believe me.
That's
I
amazing.
agree with Chad. You were up to something. It was fishy the way you were asking for those. I think Chad had the right instinct.
He said so many times, I'll forward you the emails. I can prove this. I'm like, all right, forward the emails. Oh, what are you up to? What's your angle, boy?
But Carl, if he forwards you those emails, he could get a strike on his YouTube channel. and
Right,
he can't afford another
doxing.
strike.
It'd be doxing. Yeah, you literally said if I show the emails, it'll be doxing.
The man's already lost his Wikipedia. Have we no sympathy for him?
Yeah. So then Chad shows up on MLC about an hour or an hour and a half after this happened. And he's drinking again.
Oh, Chad's here. Chad, you drunk?
I'm drinking. I'm not going to lie. I just went and got a bottle of Tito's because I'm so My Roadcaster took a shit, so no more bells and whistles.
Wait, your audio's weird. You're only in one headphone, but that's actually better. I don't care. It's actually better because it's not. It's like it's not you or something. It's like a different you.
Well, and my Roadcaster took a shit, so I'm fucked. I don't know what to do.
Did you have the Tito's or you went to get out the Tito's?
I went and bought some because I
Special. Okay, so any new updates?
I mean, I asked the owner to send me some of the emails, and they're definitely Patrick Melton fans. And one was about Stuttering John because he threatened to come there to fight people.
So it started with, it was my fault and Patrick's fault. He even sent me an email. He said it on his show multiple times. It was my fault. Then a couple hours later, he's getting drunk, and he says it was definitely Patrick Melton fans. And bringing up the Roadcaster, this is...
How did you break the Roadcaster?
We're going to find out because he keeps going back to, by the way, I mentioned my Roadcaster's broken. Like when Chad's drunk, he gets in loops. Remember the first time he was on WATP and he just couldn't get out of this loop? He's like, yeah, but Chrissy Mayer. I'm like, are we going to move on or what are we doing? Like, okay, bye, Chad. See ya. Have a good one.
Cocaine also does that to you.
I agree with that.
Watch him wipe his nose. I don't know how much of the clip you got, but
The
goes
man
to
was
town.
drinking Mad Elf beers. What's wrong with you people? They're very strong.
So now he's going to explain the evidence that it was Patrick Melton's fault.
What did the emails look legit?
I mean, they could be fake names, but it was definitely one's a Melton fan because I've seen him troll me a few times, and the other one's a guy saying, yeah, Stuttering John from the Howard Stern show is coming to fight people. So, yeah, I mean, we got fucked. We literally got fucked out of this whole thing.
No, we didn't get fucked.
Can you imagine the owner of any establishment going, we just got an email saying Stuttering John is coming to fight people. Close the doors.
So all of a sudden it turned into two emails. There was one that a guy he recognized, an NLO fan, and then one guy mentioning Stuttering John. It started with they were getting a barrage and they just couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. And now it seems like there's maybe two total that's happened. And in Chad's mind, this is a victory for his haters, which I'll never understand this way of thinking. Kevin thinks this way too. Like if I got my channel taken away, that would somehow benefit him. It doesn't. But Chad thinks that him not having the show is going to benefit people who don't like his show.
I'm
joking.
I'm going to get hammered tonight, and I'm going to get hammered tomorrow, and I'm going to get hammered Saturday. And I'm just so fucking, I'm done.
Wait, are you? Oh, so you're off the wagon. You're off the Chad wagon.
Yeah. Everyone won. You guys all won, man. You got the show canceled. You got my Roadcaster, my Patreon down. You got my get canceled in Cape Coral. You guys win. You
Nice job, Carl.
win. I love it.
But how they kill your Roadcaster?
Great follow-up question, Kevin.
I'm glad that Kevin asked.
Better yet, Kevin, why did they kill his Roadcaster? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
Tukey sent a signal. Sent an audible signal through the internet that blew it up.
Impressive.
This is Chad throwing a very childish tantrum right now.
Yeah.
Fine, I don't even care anymore. I don't even want to be in this world. I'm just going to hold my breath. Then you'll be sorry. Yeah, everything goes against me and you guys are all mean.
You know, I've never found him compelling in any way. Like, I've never been entertained by any Chad stuff.
Right.
I'm really enjoying this, and I think that it all has to do with "cumulate," which I can't.
I know you love it.
I can't stop saying it in my head. It's so
It's
stupid.
better than come you early.
Oh.
I'm glad you guys
Yeah.
are all so eager to laugh about this, but Carl driving this poor man to drink is eating me up inside.
Horrific.
The funny part about all of this is that Chad thinks he worked hard on this.
Yeah. He said he was building the event.
Yes.
I feel bad for the people that were coming, and there was so much we were doing behind the scenes. It's all down the drain. And by the way, the Roadcaster, the manufacturer, I'm gonna send it back, but I'm not gonna have one for 2 weeks. So no bells and whistles for 2 weeks.
Damn it.
He keeps bringing that up. Like by the way, did I mention my Roadcaster? My Roadcaster, guys, did I mention that? That's his security blanket right there.
We should
What
donate some
happened
bells
to
and
it?
whistles.
Why can't we get to the bottom of this? What caused the Roadcaster to break?
I saw Cardiff talking to OJ about this morning, and it's like, Roadcasters are built very well.
They're bulletproof.
You would have to probably throw a temper tantrum and smash the thing
Or-
on the table or throw it against the
Spill
wall.
vodka all
Or
over
spill a
it.
drink in it.
Okay.
Because I don't understand how else all of a sudden it just shits the bed. It's a brand new Roadcaster. I don't know anyone else that happens to.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't
Right.
happen. I bought a 3-year-old used one, and it's amazing. I got rid of it, but
It
it was
doesn't
still
happen.
working fine when I got rid of it.
So you see right there all the stuff they were doing behind the scenes, all the work they were doing. So Blade, the guy who hosts Win by 2, he put out a video laughing about this. He's
Chad
pissed.
wasn't getting answers too. Did he even ask? Now I do have to put this out there. Chad was throwing bait out there and saying that we were doing conference calls. I mean, this was an actual thing he said today. I don't know if I have the clip prepared. I should have probably timestamped it, but apparently that we were doing conference calls and on a email text chain. Me, Ken, and Sal were in an email or in a text thread. There was no email thread to my knowledge, and there was no conference calls ever.
So this is interesting. So Ken Mosca is the buddy of Chad's who tried to help him get this venue and get it set up. Mm-hmm. Ken's the owner. And then this guy, John, a.k.a.
Sal's
Blade.
the owner.
Or Sal, sorry. Yeah, Sal's the owner. And then this guy, Blade, was the guy who was going to do all the work, bring all of the equipment, make sure that this show was actually going to happen. And we're talking about speakers, the PA system, monitors, computers, running the show, streaming it live,
Cameras.
microphones, cameras, like all this stuff that you'd have to do. Like it's not a Kiss concert, but it's also not nothing. It's not a stand-up show. It's not an open mic either.
So do with that wit you will, NJ Ranger. Did Chad ask? I don't know. I feel like not, right? Because I feel like if he would have asked that question or any question, all of this could have been resolved 3 weeks ago. Again, the reason why I'm infuriated, I need people to just understand this. The reason why I'm infuriated is because this is all happening 72 hours away from the event. This all could have been, the plug could have been pulled on this 3 weeks ago, and it would have just been, okay. But you got people, taking off of work, flying in, driving down, buying tickets, getting ready. They're excited to see a fucking show. Kevin's return show to the stage, first time since his fucking roast, which was, in 2020 or 2021, whenever the fuck it was, 2019. Yeah, it was a big deal. People were looking forward to doing something, finally, in the MLC verse, instead of just doing the same exact thing that they're doing and that they've been doing every Atlantic City meetup. That's doing a podcast from your laptop in Kevin Brennan's room.
It's the laziest thing you could possibly do.
And I would add to that and say, like, even if it wasn't that big a deal, like if only 15 people bought tickets so far or whatever, like to those people, it has to be so annoying to have to tune into a show every day just to find out if this event is going to happen or not. Like that's going to be exhausting.
Yeah, this past week was crazy because it was just like you heard Kevin screaming at Chad about it, not wanting to do the show. And then the next day it's like, no, it's on. We got this figured out. And then it's like, no, it's off again. And who's to blame this time? And the blame keeps going around to all these different people. It's like, guys, this is so dysfunctional. And you could tell it was a communication breakdown. Chad is terrible. Like he says, I'm not an event planner. He keeps saying, guys, let Melton plan events. I'm not an event planner. This is just normal adult shit that you need to do, especially if you're an entertainer, if you're in entertainment. I mean, I've set up so many shows for bands and for podcasts and stuff. You just need to know who to talk to and make sure the equipment's going to get there and everyone knows the deal with the door and security and shit. This is basic stuff.
It's wildly unprofessional and disrespectful. And also, I have to go in the middle of this segment. Is that okay?
Yeah, I know. You told me you headed out. Good to
Bye,
see you,
guys.
buddy.
Thanks.
They should be in here.
And I do want to keep reminding people that this show in AC, this event that Chad was planning, was only because Melton and Tukey decided to go to Atlantic City to play poker.
Correct.
And they figured they could grift off of some of their people that were going up there already.
They organized this thing at the Borgata. The Borgata, half of the casino is shut down for repairs or maintenance or something like that. The B bar where everyone hung out last year is not open. There's like nowhere to go in the place to hang out. It's like, smart move, guys.
Well, Stuttering John will tell you, get rid of all the Mexicans. This is what happens.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now Super Chatter's going to tell Chad he's a bad organizer.
Chad, good grief, you're a bad organizer. It's fine.
It doesn't. It could have been the shittiest show organized ever. It got canceled because people were harassing the venue, and I'm just going to say I'm out of a Roadcaster for 2 weeks. I have to send it back to the manufacturer, and it's going to take 2 weeks. So I'm not saying I have to pay for it. It's just going to suck.
No one asked about the fucking Roadcaster.
Dude, he's nothing without his drops.
I know.
If he can't hit the whip sound effect, he's not going to get super chats anymore. Like, he's seeing this is the demise.
He won't let go of it physically.
I know.
It's amazing.
He keeps showing.
Even this, though, there were so many lies, even in the Roadcaster thing, where he broke it an hour or two earlier, and he already had a timeline. How he's got to send it here. It's going to be back in 2 weeks. Like, there's no electronics manufacturer in the world that's going to get you that information quick enough. You fill out a form online, you wait for a couple days, right? Then all of a sudden he's sending it to California. He like within an hour he knew it's going to California. This road is in New Jersey. The road corporation is in New Jersey, not California. New Jersey and Australia.
This is a guy who couldn't make a single phone call to the venue they're going to have their show at tonight. And we're supposed to believe that he's getting all the information on this Roadcaster and what he needs to do. No, instead what he's doing is he's getting drunk.
Well, you know, since Melton helped get this canceled, I think the nicest thing he could possibly do is like just shut the fuck up about any event we have coming up.
What?
I don't know. I'm drunk.
Nice.
Good stuff, Chad. God. So Chad's back to being Chad. I know Chad's boring, but this is just fascinating to me because this morning he goes live from the airport. And he took this down immediately, but thanks to my buddy John Marlowe for capturing this for me and sending it over.
Next time, why don't you actually try? I did, dude. You guys are so dumb. You guys are the dumbest people ever. Like, you have no idea. It's not that hard to put on a live podcast. You do exactly what I'm doing right now in front of people. Period. Done. Sell 60 tickets. Done. But you guys had to attack the venue. You had to email the venue, call them nonstop. So everyone got fucked.
So first off, there's a lot more to it than that. And that's what Chad doesn't understand. It's just like, yeah, we're just going to set up in the corner and put on a whole show and live stream it and get super chats and bring up comics and talk about their sets and
Easy peasy.
yeah. No problem at all.
What could go wrong?
There's a lot more to it than that. But I like that Chad talks at every one of these shows. It's like he's talking to the people who are emailing the venue. And you guys did this. You guys who are the 15 people watching me on Instagram this morning, you guys are the ones who did this. Like, you sure? You sure it's those people? I don't understand that. But Chad explains that he's not like that.
You know, I know Stuttering John's all for canceling gigs and everything, so I don't do that. I don't.
Huh. It's interesting. He says that he doesn't get people's gigs canceled. Only Stuttering John does.
Yeah.
But I saw on Cardiff show today a little clip that tells me differently.
AI, Carl.
About him. Some of it involves you and threatening you. So we booted him off the show. Bye-bye.
We booted him off the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, John. Bye. Did it pay? Did it pay, John? Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Good luck, John. You got kicked off the show, motherfucker. Bye.
This must be from years ago, though, right, Cardiff? I mean, he's obviously changed his mind on how getting people canceled off shows is not a good thing.
No, not quite last year. It was about 2 weeks into the new year.
Oh, so it was just this last month.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Celebrating getting his gig canceled. He's just like, you fucking assholes getting people's gigs canceled. Like, I would never do that to anyone.
Yep, you would.
He's so bad at this. He also said that John got his gig canceled in Cape Coral. And I'm sorry, there's no fucking way the police called the venue saying, hey, we're going to come down there later to meet up with Chad. And they said, nope, we're kicking Chad off the show because of it. Police can't get your gigs canceled. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wouldn't that be interfering with a what's that obstruction of justice if they canceled him when they knew the police were coming to
That's a good point too. Yeah, like you can't just be like, you know what, fucking, I'm not even gonna let him come here.
Interesting.
Yeah, none of that makes any sense.
Nope.
But this is the funniest part from this
Officer
morning's.
Jablomi called.
This is the funniest part from this morning's airport stream that he did.
Yeah, I slept very well. I had a show last night. I didn't tell anybody where it was because I didn't want it to get canceled. Apparently that's your guys' MO now, is trying to cancel people's gigs all the time.
So he had a show last night, but he didn't tell anyone. And then he says this.
You're terrified of people confronting you. I tell where I'm at all times, where I'm going to be. I use my real name.
I haven't paid attention to Chad in a long time, and I forget how quickly he trips up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as there's a little bit of pressure and some questions being asked of him and things, like, he just melts down immediately. He's really bad at this.
But not telling anyone about your gig is also a great way to get your gig canceled.
Right.
But yeah, he's not going to Atlantic City. I don't know if you have that news.
Oh, no. What's the latest with that? Because he was on his way. He said he was still coming to AC. He wanted to hang out with people and give out T-shirts and stickers and lanyards.
There was another stream, whether it was in the Philly airport or back at the Tampa airport. He appeared to be going to the gate. Somebody yelled at him, "Sir, TSA is closing the doors," and the stream went dead. And then
missed his flight.
There was I guess he missed his flight, but
come on,
there was a tweet 2 hours ago that said I'm an hour away from Philly, so we don't know. Nobody knows where Chad is now, where he isn't, but he says he's not going to AC. Long story.
Okay. What a fucking debacle. We called it. Chad's going to pretend that we had something to do with it. We did not. He just sucks at this. He sucks at life.
Who are these podcasts?